Well, in this video, let's update the business card holder with a new tool in sketching. Here we go. So now that we have a business card holder, let's go through adding letters or text on it. I can start by highlighting this face, and we're going to activate a 2D sketch. From here, I can choose Sketch Text. And when I do, this menu comes up, and I can start typing whatever I'd like. Perhaps business, since it's a business card holder. I can also make it not caps. And as you can see, the text is quite big for what I'm going for, so I can change the text size, maybe something to a reasonable 0.1. And when I do, my text is smaller. Now I also have this option of font height or character extents. This might be more clear if I make this a different font. I'll add a Y at the end, right? Make it businessy for some reason, and I'll increase to 0.15. Now, if I'm choosing font height right here, which from the bottom to the top, which from the bottom of the letters to the top of the letters is what we're measuring from. But if we choose character extents, we'll measure from the top of the letters to the very bottom of the Y, the total footprint of the letters. So if I click on this, we change our footprint. So we measure our letters differently based on font height or character extents, but either one works. I might want to add another line. Maybe I'll say buy now, but of course buy now comes way down here, and we don't want that much gap in our lines. So I can go to my line spacing and make that 0.2 or something similar. And now I've been able to redimension subsequent lines in my text. I also have an option to put this at an angle. I can say maybe 10 degrees. And I can tilt my text 10 degrees or whichever I specify simply by adding an angle here. We also have some shorthand references, so we don't have to type an angle in at all, but use one of these preset angles if we so wish. From here I can mirror my text, and so if I'd like to make a stamp or something like that, I can have mirrored text. I can also align to the right or left or the center if I'd like to change the alignment of my text. I have some basic editing tools where I can make the font bold and or italicized. And then I have another option to go along a path. So let's talk about that. First, I'll close, and I'll make a spline here. Or I can choose an arc, or I can choose a line in an arc, or whatever path that I would like to have in my text. Now I'll go into my sketch text, I'll choose a long path, and I can select my spline as a text figure. Now of course the first line is recognized, but not the second, and so I'll hit the delete key to bring it all into one line. And then I can say, well, where do I want to start along my path? And I can adjust exactly where I want my text to start on the path. I can also adjust my spacing, so I can space the letters out if I would like. Then I can choose offset, so I can say if I want the text to be on the other side of the spline, or if I want the spline to be right in the middle of the text. We sure can. I'm able to reverse on the path as well, and I can reflect over the path. So I have some options on how I want to orient the text that way. I can also make sure that my path is a reference figure so it doesn't interfere with any extrudes that I would like to do later on. Finally, I can take this back to plain if I would like, and I have this option to explode. And if I click on explode, then it makes sketch elements, individual sketch elements out of all of my letters. And this helps if I want to edit specific parts of the text. If I do not select explode, I'll go ahead and delete this and insert a new sketch text. And I simply say apply. Then the sketch text remains as just a block of text. This is usually my default to insert with unless I have some problems with a particular font or want to make my own adjustments. I usually stick with this without exploding. So that's the ins and outs of working with sketch text in Alibre. I think it's quite flexible and a lot of fun. So that is how we do sketch text. Tune in to the next video where we'll do something even cooler.